He doesn't know anymore now.
I have a few short
You're
words.
not get to sit next to him.
I don't know.
I just wanted to say that for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan. I am the brother of the groom and the best man. For those of you that do know me, I apologize. Before I get into my speech, though, I would like to thank everybody indeed for finally recognizing me for that which I truly am, the best man. I don't know what all these other imposters were trying to do at all these other weddings I've been to over the years, but it's nice to finally be recognized for that which you see. The best man. I've always known I was. It's just a shame that it took everyone else this long to finally realize it. I must admit that when I was asked to be best man, I knew that his biggest role in the ceremony was to write a speech, other than make sure that you don't forget the rings. So when I decided when I decided to write my speech, I decided I would go where any good student would go if they needed to plagiarize something. Excuse me. Write a term paper. I went to the internet. So, with a multitude of resources at my fingertips, I searched and I searched. And after hours of searching, I realized I really found some incredible stuff. And then I realized I was supposed to be looking for speech ideas. So, that's when I decided to ditch the internet and write it myself. By the way, if anybody wants a list of any of the websites I found, talk to me later. So I'd like to begin. Fornication. Excuse me. I better enunciate the words better. For an occasion such as this. Tradition states that the best man speech is supposed to be a time for me to sing the groom's praises and to talk about his many good points. I don't feel like singing right now. I refuse to lie, so it's also a tradition for the best man to talk about all of the groom's past exploits in the realms of ladies. I would like to skip this portion of the speech. However, a very, very short leaflet is available upon request. As many of you know, Scott was born April 22nd, 1975. I searched to see if I could link this date with some sort of life-changing world event. I couldn't find anything. However, I did learn that Underwood Memorial Hospital staff still refers to that day as Ugly Tuesday. It's actually become legend. It's sort of like a Roswell landing. When growing up, some people thought that Scott was a slow starter. It's actually not true. The only difference between him and kindergarten, between him and the other 5-year-olds, was that he was 11. And actually, obviously that's not true. I know for a fact that Scott is a very smart guy, and in college he only changed majors once. He graduated Lehigh University with a degree for grade finance. Many of his school friends are still here. However, most people don't know that he started out his university days there as a biochemistry major. He spent a lot of time taking beer, wine, and alcohol and turning them into urine. It took him some time to realize that no one would pay him to do that. So he changed majors again to finance and graduated. Luckily, he moved up here. But, Tara, I would like to be the first from my family to officially and publicly welcome you to my family. I am truly blessed to have another sister to complain about.
Watch it!
But Tara, I do think that I speak for every single guy in this room when I say that it is truly a sad day that such a beautiful woman as you has been taken off the market. It's just one of those depressing days. And Scott, I also have to agree with every single woman in this room that today's Sunday. All kidding aside, Tara, I must admit that on your most special day, you couldn't have chosen a more witty, charming, delightful, handsome, and wonderful man than you've chosen to be the best man. For this reason, I'm going to ask the question, why did you marry Scott? You see, Scott's the sort of man who I believe that people emigrate to avoid. People thought that illegal immigrants were actually moving out of Arizona because of the law that they just passed, and it actually turns out that there was just a rumor that Scott was moving to Phoenix. You see, Scott is the sort of man who I believe causes people to form kamikaze squads who run their cars into his house until one of them is lucky enough to get him. I actually saw on the History Channel that John Wilkes Booth mistakenly thought Abraham Lincoln was Scott with a top hat and beard. I actually heard somebody over this side of the room groan. I'm sorry, was that joke too soon? Scott, you certainly did marry a beautiful woman. I'm not saying that you're ugly. I'm just saying that Tara's better looking than you, and standing next to her, you look up. Actually, Scott, I'm obviously kidding. I love you like a brother. I am your brother, so I guess I have to. I mean, what can be said about Scott that hasn't been said much better and much longer winded by himself? Scott, you are absolutely everything a woman could want. You're handsome, you're funny, caring, loving, practical. You need to write better. I can't do it. To tell you the truth, I do love you like a brother. I've learned a lot from you, and I've grown up in your shadow. And then I quickly grew out of your shadow. Not because I'm better than you, just because I really love McDonald's. Well, my speech is nearing the end, so in traditional fashion, I'd like to end with a little marital advice. I know I'm single, but I've acquired a few marital tidbits in my days that I'll share with you now. Remember, bachelors obviously know more about women. If they didn't, they'd be married. So here are my top 10 things to remember about marriage. Number 10, never go to bed angry. Just stay up and argue until you both pass out from exhaustion. This way you'll be nice and rested and relaxed to continue your argument the next day. Number 9, the word dust is never the correct answer to the question, what's on the TV today, honey? Number 8, some people think that they're always under pressure to get married. I say get married when you want. Weddings are just one more event where I'm not allowed to wear sweatpants. I mean, by all means, marry. If you get a good spouse, you'll be happy. If you get a bad one, you become a philosopher. And number 7, just because you want silence does not mean you do not like your spouse. It just means that at that moment you like silence more. Number 6, remember that women lie. I know women always complain when I say this, because it is true. But for anyone who doesn't believe me that women lie, just listen to the following quotes. I won't be mad. You don't need to ask me for permission to go out with your friends. Tell me the truth. Do I look fat in this? Bald men are sexy. I rest my case. Number 5, marriage has been called an institution. Marriage has also been called love. Therefore, if love is blind, that means that marriage is an institution for the blind. Number 4, just because you married Mr. or Mrs. Right does not mean that their first name is always. Number 3, if you decide to have a fun night out, remember to leave the lights on for the one who gets home later. Number 2, remember that if you're blessed enough to have children come along, waking up when you have a baby, you'll feel a lot like you would when you're in college and you drank a whole bottle of whiskey, except this time the poop will be in someone else's pants. And number 1, a parent is only as good as his dumbest child. If one kid wins the Nobel Peace Prize and the other one gets robbed by a midget hooker, you failed. Scott and Tara, I know that for both of you, marriage will be both a test and a journey. It will teach you new traits like humility, trust, compassion, love, understanding, and teamwork, all of which are things you wouldn't have had to worry about if you'd been smart enough to remain single. Finally, I just wanted to say that, Tara, you deserve the most kind, caring, smart, and loving husband that there is. Scott, thank God you married her before she found him. So, at this time, I'd like everyone to please raise your glasses to the new bride and groom. There's an old Irish saying that I think is very apt to the occasion. It's, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
Here, here.
God bless. Cheers.
Well done.
And I'm not Don't get